Well, for more than 50 years, Gold Circle inductees have been the movers and shakers in our industry. And tonight, we get to meet a man who has been a major force in programming and at numerous networks. To name a few, at MPT, co-creating the award-winning program Outdoors Maryland, at Discovery, head of production for Discovery Health, creating and producing programs for women, yes. And at PBS, in charge of arts and performance programs. And all along the way, helping create opportunities for minority organizations and independent filmmakers. Oh, and by the way, he is equally comfortable in front of a camera, as you will see.
That voice, that performance, I've never seen anything like it. I like it when I do this show is that the cameramen are all dancing. You can just see them back there just moving, having a good time. I didn't think it was going to work the first time I saw the show, as a matter of fact. And I'm thinking, well, really? Here's the MPT tote bag. Take a look at that. I actually have one of these. I may have two of these. And I take them to the beach, as a matter of fact. You think about it, you can put your towels in here. This is a great bag. You know, it's great being sitting right here, so that you can hear some of the volunteers talk to some of you, and I can find out where you're from and how much money you donate and what kind of gifts you're getting, so it's kind of fun. But right now, it doesn't look like there's a lot of that, and I wonder why. Whose kind of fault is that? Is that our fault? Is it your fault? 34 seconds left in. You're like, you know, sometimes people say, well, how do you know when to shut up? Well, you shut up when it gets to 0.
WBAL, Maryland Public Television, Discovery Network, PBS. My gosh, you have done it all, and you've done it all well.
You're a guy with big heart, even bigger laugh. In fact, we often hear that before we see you.
Way back when I first started here at MPT as an intern, and you were directing Critics' Place. And it was one of the most fascinating things I've ever seen. Someone that looks like me, who were themselves, and still got the respect of being the professional that you are.
You've been an amazing boss, friend, and mentor throughout the years, and we feel so lucky to know you. Congrats.
And we wouldn't even be here without you, because Donald introduced us, and we are married.
I didn't even say about how he's a good father. I mean, that's all, but that's okay. Well, they're my godchildren. Okay, so I have known him for a long time.
You have, brother.
We're actually the best of friends. I don't want to say that up front because then I think I'm prejudiced.
My former colleague, work husband, and dear friend. I'm so delighted for you to be receiving this award tonight, and I can think of no one more deserving than you.
And especially, thanks for helping us keep the lights on.
About that great Donald Thoms smile, whether you're a network colleague or a production company pitch person, you get the same Donald.
Congratulations, Donald, on this much-deserved award, and thank you for all of your contributions over the years throughout the media industry.
You've had a fantastic career, and we hope it goes on forever.
We don't know why they selected you. I mean, how did you stand out? You're so quiet and shy. I just don't understand.
Always behind the scenes. Yeah, what's with that?
Thank you for the impact that you have had in my life. You got me started in my over 40-year journey in public media. Hey, wait a minute. That makes you old.
My congratulations to you on your well-deserved induction into the Gold Circle.
Joining the Gold Circle is quite an honor, and it's an exciting group to be part of. It's not as exciting as directing live TV.
And you picked some really wonderful TV shows for all of us to enjoy, like, you know, Downton Abbey, stuff like that. And we're all just very, very grateful to you, and we're very, very proud of you and proud to call you our dad.
And your programming reflects the way the world looks today.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Dad.
Hi, Dad.
Gold Circle, huh? You realize that in 1974, George Benneman, John Davis, you and I were all working at Maryland Public Television, helping to chart the future for public media. 50 years later, 3 of us are still charting that course. working full-time in public media. What's your problem?
Cool.
Stand over here. All right. Turn around. Stay this way. And Don, you. Sir Donald.
Yeah. Thank you.
And then we take a picture.
Thank you. I was hoping I could memorize this, but as Leonard Taggart said, I'm old. You know, hello everybody. I'm so honored and humbled about this. And a few thanks. First, Patrick Shea, who put that video together. Thanks to the Academy. Fran Minikowski sitting there, who just helped me through this process and would not let me screw it up. You know, and Sylvia Bugg, Travis Mitchell, and Linda Taggart for endorsing me. And of course, all the folks early on who said, Donald, you can do this. No matter what, it's all about the people that you meet along the journey. And there are thousands of hundreds of people that you meet in this 50-plus career. And congrats to Rob Henniger. I've known Rob for many of these 50-plus years. To all the awardees tonight, all of you guys, and especially to my colleague David Wainwright. We've known each other for a moment or two. I'm calling my remarks my pinch me moments. Okay, we've all had them. Just when you can't believe what just happened or what's about to happen. So, all right, these pages, I should have stapled them, right? So, in 1967, I flunked out of Morgan State College. Much to the utter disappointment and pain to my parents. That was worse than flunking out. A month after that disaster, I took a friend to a job interview. I was wearing, you know, a sweatshirt, shorts, and flip-flops. I had no idea she was going to ask me to come in with her. So I was sitting in the lobby in the corner when my friend came out and called me over. He said, Donald, come in and meet the owner. I said, no. She said, no, come on over. So I flip-flopped over in the corner, and after a few minutes of chatting, he says, has anyone ever told you you have a good voice? I said, well, I was the master of ceremonies at all of my high school events, and I didn't have the guts to tell them that when I was 7, 8, or 9, I would pick up my mother's tall silver salt shaker and do station breaks. in the mirror. Well, he said, good enough, and he sent me over to Channel 11, WBAL, because they were looking for floor directors. Had nothing to do with my voice. And I got hired, and that's when that first pinch me moment happened. I spent 6 years at BAL as a floor director. I got to hold cue cards for the First Lady of Baltimore TV, Miss Rhea Fiken, who's sitting there. And she told me never to tell that story, you know. I did master control, and then it was time to go. But I walked out with far more confidence and discipline than when I walked in. This thing called public television opened up, and I went there to nearly heaven. Huge studios in operation 12 hours a day, news and arts programming, and the most diversity I'd ever seen. Diversity and inclusion. Pinch me again. I got to direct so many live shows, and after 5 years, the president of the company, Rick Breitenfeld, said to me, Donald, when are you going to get off of your ass and become a producer? Well, back then, directors didn't become producers. Well, I applied, saying, I'll let the president said so. And I applied and talked to Warren Park for a long time. And all of a sudden, Warren Park gave me the job and assigned me as the producer of, wait for this, Up on the Farm. It was the agriculture show for the state of Maryland. And I'm thinking, what was he thinking? I'm the kid from Baltimore City. Well, 1 year later, Up on the Farm was showing up in the ratings. Pinch me again. What did Warren Park see in me that I didn't see? For many years, I produced and executive produced hundreds of hours of programming in all genres. and did many community-based programs reaching out to the viewers in the state of Maryland. To be a public television show, yes, you can produce programs, you can air programs, but if you're not paying attention to the community that you serve, then you should not be on the air. I truly believe that. And we did so many programs like that. Thanks to Everett Marshburn and Michael Steyer, who's here, who boosted my career more than you can imagine. Michael came to me one day and said, you know, I was one of his executives. He said, listen, I need a show on the air in 12 weeks. I said, 12 weeks? I said, what kind of show? He said, a country music show. Well, I did. And it was called New Country Video. It became very successful. Stayed on the air for years. You know, and thanks to also the people at MPT Pledge. They keep me on the air. They've kept me on there for 30 years. You know, and with Rhea and with Carol and Black Sotia, we're out there. They're like my work wives, you know. After 20 years at MPT, I left and went to PBS, the National Service. I changed the entire way programs were being delivered. They were like haphazard, no kind of schedule, anything like that. And it's not like I'm a detailed person, but I figured this is crazy. Let's put some order to this thing. I became the face of BIPOC and independent filmmakers, and during that time, I created the original Independent Lens. Still in the air, but now produced by the real experts. Big old thanks to Kathy Quattrone, who hired me and trusted me in that position. Well, after 6 years, I left and I entered the dark side, commercial cable television, and headed up production for the newly launched Discovery Health Channel. We created some pretty brilliant shows for women. But the biggest hit we had was called John and Kate +8. The biggest thing I ever did. I called it, the networks called it, or the critics called it reality programming. I called it observational documentary. That's a different kind of pinch me moment. Well, after 8 years, I was back at PBS for the final round, and the absolute perfect job. I was head of all arts, music, dance, drama programming, and then this major pinch me moment occurred. I was standing in line at the White House to meet Barack and Michelle Obama. And all I could think was my parents going, what? You know, well, that pinch me moment hurt so good. Well, after PBS, I've been consulting with the likes of John Leguizamo and Ben DeSouza for their Latin programs on PBS, and Alex Cronemer, who's here right now, and UPF with all their Muslim programs. So I still am in there. But of course, what I love to do so much is to work with independent and minority filmmakers who sometimes just don't get the break. And I'm able to make a phone call that they can't, and sometimes I get in. So it's been rewarding for me. I love the career I've had and having, and could not imagine being a social worker, because that's what I was at Morgan for. By the way, I did go back and finish. I have great love for my kids, Tracy and Austin. Austin is a music writer and producer in LA, and his big sister, Tracy, is a Broadway, television, and movie actress and singer. I think some of what I did kind of rubbed off on me a little bit. A very emotional shout out to my late wife, Mariana, who got me through the years and rarely complained and gave me the much needed support I loved and needed. Thanks to all, and by the way, tonight, this is my biggest pinch me moment. Thank you.